The war between humans and the Zarian Empire had lasted for 7 long cycles. Both sides had lost more than they could bear. When the peace treaty was finally signed, the leaders demanded a symbol of unity or marriage between species that had once sworn to destroy one another. Princess Lyra of Zaria felt her heart sink as the decision was announced. She was to wed a human commander, one who had fought in the front lines against her people. His name was Commander Ethan Ward. The tales of his victories echoed across galaxies, whispered in fear by her kind. Some called him the Iron Wolf of Tahar. As the day of the ceremony arrived, Lyra stood before the mirror, her reflection shimmering with the faint glow of her silver skin. Her attendant fastened the crown of peace upon her head, whispering words of courage. But no words could quiet the storm within her. She believed the human would treat her as a trophy, a captive symbol of their triumph. When the massive doors opened, she saw him for the first time. He stood tall, his eyes calm but unreadable, his expression free from pride. His uniform was simple, bearing no medals, no display of power. He bowed slightly before her, a gesture that startled her, more than any threat could have. "I know this is not your choice," Ethan said softly, his voice steady. "It is not mine either. But I promise, Princess, you will never be my prisoner." Those words lingered in her heart as they walked together through the Isle of Unity, surrounded by thousands who watched with suspicion and hope. The union was sealed not by love, but by necessity. That night, Lyra was given her own quarters in the human capital. She expected guards, surveillance, and control. Instead, Ethan left her alone, placing a message device on her table that read, "You are free to explore the city whenever you wish. No one will harm you." For the first time, doubt touched her fear. Could a human truly mean kindness in a world built on blood and betrayal? Lyra looked out the window at the lights of terror, wondering if peace could bloom from such an unlikely bond, or if this calm was only the silence before another storm.
Days turned into weeks, and the uneasy silence between Lyra and Ethan began to soften. She had expected orders, cold glances, and constant control, but instead she found patience. Ethan rarely spoke, but when he did, his words were thoughtful. He respected her space, never crossing her boundaries. One morning, Lyra decided to explore the city, disguised beneath a thin hood. She walked through the crowded streets of Terra Prime. Humans stared at her glowing skin and silver eyes, yet none dared to approach. When a group of children pointed at her, whispering that she looked like a moon fairy, she smiled for the first time since her world had fallen. That evening, Ethan was waiting at the gate. His voice carried concern but no anger. "You should have taken a guard," he said quietly. Lyra raised her chin, proud and stubborn. "Were you afraid I would escape?" He shook his head. "No. I was afraid someone might hurt you. Not everyone accepts peace as easily as we wish." His words stayed in her mind long after he left. That night, as the twin moons rose above the skyline, she wondered why this human spoke with such gentleness, when he had every reason to hate her people. Soon, Lyra began joining Ethan in diplomatic meetings. She observed how he defended the Zarians from harsh trade restrictions and argued for fair resource sharing. Many human leaders disagreed, but Ethan remained firm. When one senator mocked her presence, Ethan's sharp tones silenced the hall. After the meeting, Lyra approached him. "You defended me," she said softly. "I defended peace," he replied. "And peace begins with how we treat each other." Something shifted in her heart that day. The man she once feared began to look less like an enemy and more like a light breaking through endless darkness. She found herself speaking to him about Zarian art, her home sky, and the songs her mother used to sing before the war. Ethan listened, truly listened, as if her words mattered. And for the first time since the treaty, Lyra began to hope that this alliance was not a punishment, but a chance for something greater than either world had imagined.
Months passed, and whispers spread across both worlds. Some called their marriage the Dawn Pact, others called it a betrayal. But within the palace walls, something real was growing: trust, respect, and perhaps something even deeper. One evening a violent protest broke out near the capital gates. Rebels from both sides joined forces, believing peace was a lie. Explosions echoed across the horizon. Lyra was caught outside when the chaos began, trapped between collapsing towers. Ethan rushed through the smoke and fire to reach her. When debris fell from above, he shielded her with his own body. His armor burned, but his hold never loosened. "You are safe," he whispered, his voice breaking through the noise. After the attack, Lyra sat beside his hospital bed, her eyes shimmering with tears. She finally understood. The human she had once feared had given her more than peace. He had given her dignity, choice, and a heart that no treaty could force. When Ethan awoke, he found her hand in his. "You saved me," she said. He smiled faintly. "You made it worth saving." News of their survival spread like wildfire. For the first time in centuries, humans and Zarians celebrated together. The image of the wounded commander and the alien princess, standing side by side, became the emblem of a new era. Years later, when the stars above Terra and Zarya aligned perfectly, Lyra looked out the palace balcony and whispered, "Maybe this was never about a forced marriage. Maybe it was the universe teaching to broken worlds how to love again." And somewhere in that vast galaxy, the Iron Wolf and the Silver Princess found peace, not in power, but in each other.